Turn to your neighbor and answer this question. What is momentum? What is momentum? Okay. If I were to say, that senator has a lot of momentum, or that idea has a lot of momentum, or that freight train has a lot of momentum, what does the word momentum tell me about the senator, the idea, or the freight train? Raise your hand, brave soul. Where are you? There you are.
It's hard to stop.
It's hard to stop. Okay, it's hard to stop. That's a bad day on a train. It's just how hard it is to stop something. Okay? Now I have a question for you. Jake. Skateboard? Jake just confided in me that he's an avid skateboarder. Here is actually a picture of Jake going down Main Street. Jake, how fast do you go? He claims 50 miles an hour, but that seems a little high, but that's what he says. Anyway, Jake is going down Main Street 50 miles an hour. Right next to him is a Mack truck, also going 50 miles an hour. Which has more momentum? Which would be harder to stop? Jake or the Mack truck?
Mack truck.
Yeah, the Mack truck. So clearly mass is important. Now, is that Mack truck always going to have more momentum than Jake? No. Park it at Albertsons. It's not hard to stop a parked truck. And so it's more than just the mass. Okay? The mass matters, but also the speed. And it turns out that momentum, how hard it is to stop something, is just a product. And we label it with a P. Now, that troubles me. We use P for power and pressure and all sorts of things. And here we use it for momentum because momentum it's silent like pneumonia. I don't know. I have no idea. It's just historical. Okay. Now, can you, with your neighbor, find an example of something that would be hard to stop, have a lot of momentum, but doesn't have very much mass? Anyone?
Bullet.
A bullet. 23 years teaching in Montana, that's the only example I've ever got. A bullet. It has a lot of momentum because it's going very quick. Let me give you another example. I went to high school on the island of Guam. In Guam, nobody had windows. What we had were metal louvers that could be closed, but not so closed that the geckos couldn't get in. And the reason we had louvers instead of windows is because we had coconuts. They were just littering our lawn everywhere. And we also had tropical storms. And whenever a tropical storm came around, those coconuts looked like cannonballs. Yeah, that's the way they acted. Now, right next to where our house was, in the jungle, there was a whole village that had been wiped out. There were roads, there were foundations, there just weren't any houses. And that's because before we moved to the island, there had been this huge, huge storm that had just wiped that village out. Now, I had friends who had grown up on the island. They had pictures from that storm. And one picture that I remember vividly was a telephone pole that had all sorts of little junk embedded into it. Pieces of glass, pieces of metal. And they were just going so fast, they didn't want to stop. What about an example, or a couple of examples, of something that would have a lot of momentum, hard to stop, but not going very fast?
A planet.
What's that?
A planet.
A planet. Okay.
Train.
Train. I'm just thankful you didn't say Greg. Okay. Anything with a lot of mass. Okay. This space shuttle, even when it's just lumbering down the runway, is very hard to stop because it has a large mass. Now, of course, lumbering down the runway is not the way this is supposed to be used. Its cruising speed is about 17,000 miles per hour. So at that point, it's just way hard to stop. Way hard to stop.